Hello and welcome to our review for the third episode in the seventh season of the 100. We just got done watching False Gods, and I have to say, compared to the last two, I felt like it was a little bit weaker, but I still enjoyed it overall. I thought it was a pretty cool episode. It had a lot of fun lines. I think, in particular, the use of the line False Gods when that character Tobin shot Russell was really cool because it was, I think, pretty obvious after you saw him do it that he was wearing the robes of one of the temple followers. So you're kind of able to piece it together that he was saying that, but he didn't actually think that. He thought that he was serving Russell, but what's really interesting about that line is it's not Russell. So it's got this really interesting layer to it that all the temple followers don't really get, and I'm really interested to see how that actually unravels over the next few episodes. But this felt more like they were setting up those episodes and actually doing anything too interesting. I was at the end. We saw the trailer for what's coming up, and I'm really interested to see how the system at Bardo works. I think we're going to be seeing a lot about Bardo.
Yeah.
And this was kind of, following the people we already know, kind of establishing how they're going to maybe tie into things later or give us some more storylines, story arcs. I think that character James has been in previous scenes, but I don't remember him. There's so
Does it
many
matter
side
now?
characters.
Just kidding.
I know, right? He's gone. Maybe Cora too had some interesting stuff in the last season. She's only had one season to do anything though, because she was from Sanctum initially. She was wearing the Sanctum
Right.
stuff, those garbs, and then James was wearing the Arcadian things. And I feel like he may have been a mechanic and done some work. I think I may be confusing him with one of Raven's love interests, Wick. Do you remember a long time ago the engineer Wick?
Oh yeah, no, they look
Yeah. But
not the same person.
I'm probably just thinking of him, I think, I don't know if James
Mhm.
had some stuff previously, but maybe in the very last season he had some lines.
Yeah.
Some very minor lines. They didn't decide he was worth keeping around, obviously. I liked Hatch. What did you think of that whole thing with Hatch and his wife and him going into the reactor?
I don't know. What do you mean? What did I think of it? It's like kind of lame of Raven to do that.
I didn't really believe Hatch would do that. Throw himself so selflessly into the...
Why? He was the only one of the whatever they're called.
The convicts.
The convicts who was trying to be cool about everything.
Well, that's the thing. I felt like all the other ones were much more believable because them looking out for themselves kind of fit more into what you would expect from them. But it makes sense that one of them wouldn't fall in line with everyone else, and he'd kind of want to help, and he'd be their potential ally. And
Well,
typically,
the story that he was telling Murphy was very much like, he's kind of along for the ride, not necessarily doing the murderous things,
yeah, but he didn't really react the way Raven expected him to the fact that he knew he was going to die. He was like, I'm going to do this for the people I care about. So I thought it was fun. It took a slightly unexpected turn, but I don't know. I was kind of expecting him not to make it through once they started to establish where this story was going. There was probably some people who were going to be in a lot of danger trying to fix things up, and one crew was like, hey, we don't want any part of that. That sounds too dangerous for us. So, yeah, then when we saw Nikki being like, this isn't worth it, and him being like, this is worth it, and they're lovers, and it's just kind of convenient for the story for that to go that way. Now we have somebody we have to worry about inside the camp at Sanctum being a problem later on. It's not just these outside forces we're unknown about, but kind of building up in the background. Now we have things internally that are starting to brew because of how they're reacting to other things. The way they're all interacting together is leading to more issues later down the line. I don't know. Yeah. James definitely messed up at the beginning. I don't know if that could have been avoided, but he obviously thought he knew enough and didn't get the help that he needed to. Maybe that's because he was a bit like trying to be like Raven, and Raven is a bit like, James, and not really wanting to get the help later on in the episode. I don't know. Definitely, they both made mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely made some silly mistakes. I loved at the beginning of the episode the line with Gaia and Clark, where they were talking about the ring and the commanders, the flame, how they were burying them, and they said the lines, may we meet again and your fight is over. That was a cool combination of two cultures. They kind of like found their common ground in grieving over two very important things to them. Obviously, different. The commander is not the same relationship as having a mother, and Gaia has a mother. She's still around. She's doing stuff, but in a lot of ways, the flame became more important to her and became more central to her life, kind of like Abby was so central to Clark's life and later on. I found the imagery about Russell wanting to be burned kind of interesting. I mean, it's obviously very religious, like you pointed out previously. This show doesn't shy away from the religious imagery. I mean, it's right there in the name of the episode, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Trey hasn't forgiven Delilah's mom. We're going to see more of that, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. You laughed when Murphy said, when they were like, who's going to go into the chamber and fix everything?
Mm-hmm.
Clark was like, I'll do it, and Murphy said at the same time, she'll do it. You like that line, right? That was pretty good.
It's okay. It's like, I don't know, not particularly clever or anything, but I guess it was funny.
I don't know. I thought one of the better aspects of this episode was we finally got to see a little bit of Murphy. We haven't gotten that much in the past two episodes.
I mean, this episode is like really not my favorite. I feel like they took a lot of scenes and used them in the trailer, like perhaps a little bit out of context.
Mm-hmm.
Like the James screaming thing was like a very I don't know, specific part of the trailer, and it just was like, yes, important, but also like not really as important necessarily as like it seemed like it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then the line with Gaia and Clark, which like
right at the end, that you hate that line about fighting, or are you talking about something else?
I don't know. What's Clark and Gaia's like ship name? Galark?
Galia? I don't know. You think they're gonna be a couple now after this episode?
They spent so much time together in the past two episodes, and it's like, where did this come from?
It does seem like it's kind of like they're building this big, strong relationship out of nowhere, but they did have a lot of stuff together last season, and it obviously wasn't romantic, but they both care about one person a lot, and I think that could be a really interesting direction to take that character relationship. They could take it the romantic route, or they could just have them both be like paternal like figures to this person, and they have no romantic relationship. Maybe they both have their own separate romantic relationships. Maybe Clark has one
and Gaia
romantic,
doesn't.
Yeah, and she doesn't.
Can we list out every option?
There's, like I'm saying, like it could go all kinds of manners of family units. I don't know. It's a progressive show. We're probably going to see more St. Gator crew. That guy that called out Indra, I think he was pretty smart. I think we didn't get a name for him yet, but he's the leader, right? He's just Knight.
Knight.
he's smart though, so Yeah, I wonder if that's tied to the second dawn, if we're gonna actually see some more about that. I'm starting to feel like Shade Hada may be uh, the guy who led the second dawn, or like a disciple. It seems like there was some clues left in the last episode. Um, I didn't like the line where Jordan said, "I am my father's son," and then he went over to Clark and was like, "What would my father say about all of this?" It just it seemed a little bit silly and like over the top. But Jordan's character can be a little bit over the top, right?
Yeah.
Not
He
my
goes so
favorite.
hard into his things that he like, you know, like I don't know.
He's very gullible.
He's very gullible. It doesn't really think about. I mean, it kind of makes sense. He never had to like deal with people growing up, you know.
Totally. This is how he's
Why
learning.
wouldn't he be completely gullible?
Well, apparently when he like something happened to him at the end of last season, he saw like some anomaly, fractal thing, and Russell said something about him seeing the truth. So who knows? Maybe he'll start to get some more wits, but my money isn't on that. I think he's gonna keep being a bit of a fool, but who knows? Maybe he'll actually be a decent diplomat by the end of this season. And then they'll send him back in time to help out with the spin-off show, because he
Why not?
Yeah, why not? The cockroach protocol that Emory referenced, I thought that was fun. I hope we see a little bit more of that interaction from her and Murphy, them wanting to do right, but like obviously recognizing that they can't always. And it sounds like Raven's less of the optimist than she used to be, and that makes a lot of sense based on what she's seen, what she's had to do, and locking Murphy in there was something I would have never expected from her. That was really, really dark, and like I'm interested to see what that means for her down the rest of this season, if that means she's going to regret it and go the other direction, or if she's going to continue down this path. I think she may regret it based on what I was seeing. I just want her to stop having so much misery and start being happy. Poor Raven.
I don't know if that's gonna happen. But was he really locked in there? Because he let himself out with a code.
In the end, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Didn't he?
I thought she said something about like when he brought in the stuff the guy needed to finish the job. Like, I can't trust on the finished job. I need you to. I don't know, maybe I missed something, but I thought she locked him in there at that point in the episode. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else that we really need to talk about.
It just felt to me like the kind of the filler episode. It's like they kind of have one or two every season where it's like, oh, it's like this weird side plot that doesn't really like seem to be that important in the long run. I mean, maybe it's foreshadowing or something, but
yeah,
it was okay. It wasn't terrible.
Every once in a while you need an episode to set things up, and I think that was this episode, so we should get some payoff for that pretty soon. I liked your comment about the oatmeal raisin cookie at the end. You thought it was from Costco, right?
I mean, yeah, it looked like one, but like also there's like that whole thing that's like, who eats oatmeal raisin cookies? Like they're just chocolate chip cookies in disguise, kind of crap on the internet. I like all oatmeal raisin cookie; they're pretty good, but you know, also usually people who are terrible. The like I don't know. The meme is that people who suck like oatmeal raisin cookies, so I thought that was kind of funny.
One last thing, the dial that they were watching, the way it just got exactly to the number that they could avoid, and then it went down. That hurt. That was really not my favorite. I don't know. Yeah,
just unrealistic. That would never happen.
Not my favorite, but it's not like I'd rate this low. Like, it's still at least, I'd say, an 8 out of 10 if I had to put a number on it, right? It's not
maybe,
terrible.
I don't know. I mean, compared to the last two episodes, this is in third place of all that.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to go lower than this in the rest of the the season.
I think
but I
there'll
hope
be-
so. I hope this is the low bar.
The what was I gonna say? How many episodes are in there in a season? Like 16?
This one had more. It's either 16 or 17 or something along
Well, I
those
think
lines.
somewhere in like the 12 to 13 range there'll be another crappy one.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll be doing our reviews every week right after the episode airs, or as soon as we can. We hope to see you around. Have a good one.